Well, our first guest joining us in studio, Mr. Riggs Eckelberry. Riggs, of course, is the CEO of OriginClear Incorporated. OCLN's their stock symbol. Always a pleasure, Riggs.
You have such a fireside chat approach. It's wonderful.
Well, there's no FDR anymore, so you got to have me.
I guess so.
Now, we've been talking lately about your Enough is Enough campaign to clean up the water in Compton and other areas. How's that coming along?
Well, you know, the challenge for a CEO is always how do you integrate these various things, right? Because you end up being a mile wide, you know, and an inch thick. So what we finally realized was that there's some brilliance in what Jaden Smith did in Flint, which was to put water stations in churches, which gets away from all the complexity of the individual homes. It's not a final solution, but it's a way for people to get away from the bottled water, have unlimited water, clean, and it's a bridge. And what's important about this is that simultaneously we have major commercial demand for these commercial grade water stations in places like hotels and other semi-public areas. And so now this is starting to make sense with our business model, where we have existing clients who want a product that they'll pay good money for, and it ties in with what we're planning to do on the .org side, and so it becomes an integrated strategy. And I'm very pleased with where that's going. It's literally came together in the last 3 days. What we're going to be able to do is provide purification, a spectrum of purification products, all the way from, let's say, a hotel, et cetera, all the way down to semi-public water dispensing, and of course ultra pure and so forth. So that is where it stands now, and it works well because I can now stack it into my forecast, my business forecast, and then I can do some good with the .org strategy that parallels it.
Well, you must feel like you're in the right spot at the right time because, of course, water is our most precious natural resource. And the general public doesn't really pay that much attention to it. It's really the government that's really more concerned with it when you think about in those terms.
Yes, well, the problem with government, of course, it doesn't do anything. Let's take a look at the Fukushima problem with the radioactive water that TEPCO is now going to dump, right? Now, we know that the algae, chlorella, can absorb the radioactive isotopes, and then you can dispose of it as hazardous waste. And that was credibly brought up back at the time of the Fukushima disaster. TEPCO didn't want nothing to do with it, right? So if we can get private business involved in solving these problems, then we have a chance, because governments and large utilities just don't want to know. That's not part of their agenda.
Well, as you've mentioned on this program before, the water industry moves at a snail's pace. Government, we know, moves at a snail's pace. So you're trying to bring about a much quicker solution. Yes,
and this is what's going on. Very excitingly, we created this corporate sales group that would do straight B2B sales, not water veteran type stuff, right? But really dynamic, with proper Salesforce automation, the whole thing. And they have found traction in a lot of interesting business lines, such as refurbishing pump stations. Now you got these pump stations, they're built out of concrete, and they fall apart, and now they have to be dug out and then pour the concrete again, et cetera. Well, we come along with a sleeve solution, because it's our reinforced thermoplastic, right? And it comes in as a sleeve inside there, new pump in the bottom, move on. We're going to people who have already got the contract to replace, and we're saying, save a bundle, your client will be happy, you'll make much more margin, the thing will last 4 times as long. And we're getting major traction with that idea. And we're getting orders for the regular pump stations, the new construction, but now this refurbished stuff. So what we're learning is that we're finding the commodity sales side of business, because I've been very frustrated with the custom design water treatment plants, which take months. Right? This way, we're ramping up. I love the sales numbers for this quarter. They're looking very nice. Q4 is looking very, very nice indeed. And we're teeing up for a wonderful 2020. I'm going to have the best year of my career next year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What a place to end the interview. Once again, OriginClear, OCLN's their stock symbol. Riggs, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.